Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Seth on GTA 5, who was going to pick up their car when the game had some other ideas. Yes, the player is stuck in the kind of climbing into car animation, which is bad enough. The problem is when you're being shot at by police and desperately trying to get away, well, being held in place is not the best idea. No. So it's a new one. Separate Coast up next with all manner of spawning and car problems. Now, we're seeing the game sometimes gets confused and it spawns cars on top of each other, essentially. This time managing to do it perfectly in a car park. They were looking around for the perfect car hat and there wasn't really any. That's the best we're going to get. That's the best. I mean, that's how the like Lamborghini Urus is made. You have an SUV and a sports car sort of put together. But the rest is just quite badly parked. Cheetah Lynx is up next on Grid 2 with an AI car doing its most spectacular attempt at a car hat right there. 10 out of 10 for the effort. From I think it was a BMW, clipped the wall and got launched, bounced off the Golf. That was some serious effort right there. Grid Legends is the next game we have, and a NASCAR clipping a curb and going for, well, a slightly wall-assisted roll. However, it definitely will roll on there. Speaking of rolling, we have got a Skyline up next on Dirt 4. You know, I know what you're expecting to have happen here. The Subaru gets away, just dips away off the edge, does get away with it. However, high-speed section down here gets it wrong. It's not a roll, instead it's a double front flip, and landed it. Nicely landed as well from the... from the double front flip, and then it can carry on. Beambox is up next on Need for Speed Heat, doing one of the 1v1 races. As they set off, the Evo leads the way. Nothing untoward here, but as they head up towards the first sort of serious corner, Evo finds a traffic car, goes over the player car. I mean, that is definitely one way to get an advantage. Helpful when the AI just beams it straight into some traffic. Douglas up next on Need for Speed Underground 2. Now, they are competing in one of the drag races. Now, you don't have full control of your steering in the cars for this. You can kind of change lanes if you like. Try to block an AI car, miss. When an AI Supra is trying to find some space and it gets lazy. Yeah, it's just going to get carried along. Down here, the red car wrecked itself. The Supra does eventually spin off the roof, but that's actually quite an impressive carry. It's actually a very impressive carry, I have to say. Mini is up next on SnowRunner, trying to transport two vehicles when things start going wrong. It's the transporting truck, the back part of it is having some issues, and, well, sure enough, that quickly translates into the whole truck having some issues. The two vehicles are tipped off, and now we're going to go and spin around and visit a forest, and nope, that's not gone. It's not gone to plan, really. It started off so well. I think this is a mod truck, but it started off so well and then really didn't. Ryan up next on Euro Truck Simulator 2 is minding their own business. I think this is the multiplayer one. They're just minding their own business, driving along. It's a bit of a miserable day. It's a little bit soggy. You know, nothing particularly untoward happening at this moment as they go to overtake a vehicle up ahead from nowhere. And I mean from absolutely nowhere. They get annihilated by a missile truck. I had to slow this down to try and figure out. Even slowed down, it's really difficult to see what went on. But it's a truck on the other side. I presume a little bit of lag well, it has to be a bit of lag occurs, and this phantom truck is just going about Mach 10 straight into the front. And that's going to ruin your day. That is definitely going to ruin your day. It's only in shot for a few frames before it vanishes. Zack Attack doing a speed run in a custom car on BeamNG Drive, and well, 200 miles an hour in a city can sometimes go wrong, and does. Gets it a little bit out of control, clips a signpost, crashes so hard the whole engine and driveline comes out. You know it's a good crash when that manages to happen. It got a tiny bit of oversteer. They corrected it just about, but it wasn't enough to avoid that signpost, and sure enough, that tore the car apart. Wolf Gaming up next on Project Cars 2 with the AI having issues in some classic race cars and a big old scramble. I think these are classic Indy cars, I think. Massive scramble. Player does really well, actually, to avoid all of that. But I think there was a crash going on AIs were trying to get on the brakes to avoid it and couldn't, and just all ended up spinning and making a mess. Gordon Roder up next on Project Cars 2 is trying to drive the Formula 1 car or Formula A car, or whatever the thing's called. Gets a big twitch, gets things wrong, and then the game decides, you know what? Your punishment for having a slide should be to go to space. Yep, it's gone. But the initial crash is understandable. By the looks of it, it's being played on a controller, and sometimes that can be twitchy, but I don't quite know why the game decided to just ping it off to space. And finally, we have T-Strike on Grand Prix Legends, racing in Indianapolis. One AI car gets pinged out into the distance in the background, and then something very weird happens. I don't know how they've got fused together, but that's definitely not how cars should be. Really shouldn't be like that. Just two of the vehicles got stuck together, twisted and tumbled their way. They did get separated, but ouch. Ouch indeed on that one. But there we go. That is indeed going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form. There'll be a link to it in the description of this video, and all the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.